Good afternoon, we are live now. My name is Harshit Kumar. I welcome you to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss active to passive voice transformation exceptions. What are the exceptions that we must see while doing active and passive voice transformation? In other words, you may say, which active voice sentences will not have passive voices at all? I repeat, which active voice sentences will not have active voice at all? Now, some of you might say that the active voice sentences which do not have objects do not have passive voice. This is partially correct. I would like to discuss this topic. So get ready with your pen and paper. Pause the video. Take your pen and take out your notebook. Make a left and a right margin. Be ready. Put today's date and be ready for that discussion. All right. So let's see some examples and find out what are the conditions for transforming a sentence from active voice to passive voice. This will also act as a revision. For example, look at the sentence, I kill a mosquito. The sentence is in which tense? The sentence is in simple present tense. Okay, what else we know about this sentence? Okay, the subject is the doer, subject is the doer. What is the subject? I. Okay, and the object is the mosquito. Now, instead of object, now we will search for receiving object. The receiving object is mosquito. What is a receiving object? A receiving object is the object which is directly connected to the verb. For example, look at the sentence. If I say I kill, what is the direct question in your mind? You will say who or what. You kill what or you kill who, right? So the direct answer to this question is a mosquito. You killed a mosquito. Now, since the subject is the doer of the sentence is in which voice? Is it active or passive voice? If the subject of the sentence is the doer, we have active voice. Now let's try transforming the sentence into passive voice. According to the rule, we make the object of the active voice sentence, the receiving object of the active voice sentence into the subject of the passive voice. I'll repeat. While transforming from active voice to passive voice, we make the receiving object of the active voice sentence to the subject of the passive voice sentence. Now, if you want to know the rules of active voice and passive voice transformation, please visit the last video on active and passive voice uploaded on this channel and shared with you on the relevant platforms as well, right? Okay, so let's see. We make the receiving object of the active voice to the subject of the passive voice. A mosquito, right? Okay. What is the tense of the sentence? Simple present tense. So we use the helping verb for simple present tense. What is the helping verb for simple present tense that will go for a mosquito? A mosquito is third person singular. So we will use is. Okay. Now, the main verb. What's the main verb of the active voice sentence? It is kill, right? The main verb gets transformed into V3 form in the passive voice. So what is the passive voice? What is the V3 form of kill? It is killed. Okay, now a mosquito is killed. Now we have to make the doer the object of the sentence. So in the object of the sentence, we have to show that it is the doer. So we will write by. That's the preposition we add to show who's the doer. By me. This is the receiving form, the objective form of the I. Right? When we transform the I into the object, we use me. We can't say a mosquito is killed by I. Okay? So this is passive voice sentence. Okay, now let's see again. Let's do another example. I emptied the bottle. Yes, the sentence is in active voice. Yes, because who entered the bottle, emptied the bottle? Emptied the bottle, right? So subject is he, active voice, because subject is equal to doer, right? What is the tense of the sentence? The tense of the sentence is, very good, simple present tense, simple past tense, right? Tense is simple past tense. Now, if you want to know how to identify tenses, there is another video for that. I know people studying with me regularly know about the dance of the tenses and how to identify tenses. Okay, subject is the doer. Now, tense is simple past tense. Okay. Now, when the sentence is changed from active voice to passive voice, we change the receiving object into the subject of the sentence. What is the receiving object of this active voice sentence? It is the bottle. So we will make it the subject of the passive voice sentence. The bottle. Now, emptied. I emptied the bottle. The tense is simple past tense. So we use helping verb for simple past tense that will go with the bottle, which is third person singular, that is was. The bottle was. Now the V3 form will be, V3 form of the main verb will be emptied again. E-M-P-T-I-E-D. Emptied. Who's the doer here? I. So it becomes me by, full stop. Clear. Sure. Let's see if we can do it for other sentences. Like I have studied, S-T-U-D-I-E-D, the book. Full stop. Right. In this sentence, again, I is the subject. It's active voice sentence. Active voice. Okay. What is the tense of the sentence? Have studied. Have is which tense? Have is, right, present tense. And studied is V2 form as well as the V3 form. But here it will use V2 form. Sorry, V3 form. So I have studied. So sentence is in, right? It is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. Okay. Now let's see. Let's transform this sentence into passive voice again. The book. Now, what helping verb we use for third person singular for present tense? Has or have? Third person singular. Present tense. Is it has or is it have? Find out, find out, find out. Okay, it's has. Has. The book has. Now, has is for present tense. Now, we have to use the helping verb for perfect tense as well. That is, been studied. S-T-U-D-I-E-D. That is the V3 form of the main verb, studied. Studied. Who studied it? By me. Who's the doer? Me. So, I am the doer. So, that will become again by me. Remember, every time it will not be by me. Sometimes the doer is written and all that stuff, right? The book has been studied by me, passive voice. Now look at this sentence. Let's take this sentence. I wrote a letter. Full stop. I wrote a letter. With a pen. Now, how many subjects are there? How many subjects are there? Subjects. Kitna subject hai? One, that is I. Okay. Which one is the main verb? Main verb is again wrote. Okay. Wrote. What is the tense of the sentence? Tense is simple past tense. Okay. What other information that we are missing? In order to check whether we have the passive voice of the sentence, we check the object, because in the passive voice the object will become the subject. And if there is no receiving object in the active voice sentence, we cannot make a passive voice sentence. That's the exception that we are talking about. So simple past tense. Okay. So receiving object क्या है? नहीं. Before the receiving object, let's see what are the objects of the sentence. Objects. कितने objects हैं यहाँ पे? 2. What are the objects? A letter and a pen. Right? These are the 2 objects of the sentence. Now, out of the 2, which one is the receiving object? Whether the letter is the receiving object or whether the pen is the receiving object. When I say I wrote, what question came into your mind immediately? Or what is related to the word wrote? Do you write a letter or do you write a pen? When I say I wrote, the direct question that comes into your mind is a letter. What? Right? You did not say with what did you write the letter. You always had the question what in it. Now, when you say I wrote, that's the main verb. What do you write? Do you write the letter or do you write the pen? You write with a pen, but you don't write the pen. What did you write? What do you write? You write a letter. So a letter will be the receiving object, not the pen. Okay? If you are confused about it, rewind the video, play it again. That's why this is beneficial. A letter, a pen. Okay? Object, receiving object. Receiving object is a letter. So, in the definition of transformation of active to passive voice, we have seen that we change the receiving object into the subject of the sentence. So that is why when we transform the sentence, I wrote a letter with a pen, the receiving object becomes the subject of the sentence. A letter. Now, simple past tense is the tense of the sentence. So, helping verb will be was. And main verb is wrote, so it will be in the V3 form now, written. Okay. A letter was written. Who wrote the letter? I wrote the letter. So it will be by me. Okay. What will happen of the non-receiving object? What will happen of the non-receiving object? It will remain there. It will remain there with a pen. Now, some of you might try to transform the sentence into passive voice by using a pen as the subject of the passive voice sentence. Let's try it. It's not going to work. Let's see. Can you write? I wrote a letter with a pen. Can you write a letter? Sorry, a pen was written by me. A letter. Can you write this? No, sir. So only the receiving object becomes the subject of the passive voice sentence. Clear? Eh? Let's see some more examples and see whether this rule of ours is working. So rule is rule or note, write note, while transforming the active voice sentence to passive voice, the active voice sentence must have a receiving object. This receiving object and no non-receiving object. This receiving object and no non-receiving object will become the subject of the passive voice sentence. right? This receiving object and no other non-receiving object or no non-receiving object will become the subject of the passive voice sentence. Sorry. Write another thing. If there is no other, no receiving object, if there is no receiving object in the active voice sentence, passive voice will not be possible. Okay, now while transforming from active voice to passive voice sentence, the active voice sentence, there is one, let it be one, rule number one or note one. The active voice sentence must have a receiving object. This receiving object and no non-receiving object will become the subject of the passive voice sentence. If, now point number two, if there is no receiving object in the active voice sentence, passive voice will not be possible. Chalo dekhte hain. Now, let's see. Review these rules one more time. Note it down. Don't take screenshots. Please note it down in your notebook. Okay? Okay. Let's see it through some examples. You already made the passive voice for I killed a mosquito. Can you make the passive voice for this? I ate. What did you eat, man? I ate. Is there a receiving object in the sentence? No, there is no receiving object in the sentence. This is very obvious, but it does not have any object. So receiving ka to baat hi chhod do. There's no receiving object in the sentence. So since it is an active voice sentence, but who ate? I ate. I is the subject. I is the doer, right? So I is the subject and subject is the doer. So we have active voice sentence. Active voice is there, but no passive transformation. No passive voice, right? So these are the exceptions we are talking about. There's no passive voice for no object, no passive voice because there is no object. Acha, chalo dekhte hain. No passive voice because there is no object. Now look at this. I ate rice. Full stop. Can you make the passive voice for this? Yes, you can definitely make the passive voice for this. Rice was eaten by me. Full stop. Double quote. Chalo, full stop. All right. Now look at this. I ate rice with, no, I ate with a spoon. Look at this example. I ate with a spoon. Full stop. You ate, but what did you eat? Did you eat the spoon? Did you eat the spoon? There is an object here. There is an object. What is the object here? A spoon. But is this the receiving object? When you say I ate, what did you eat? Did you eat the spoon or did you eat the food? Food to you mentioned any. You have not mentioned the food here. So what is mentioned here? A spoon, which is not the receiving object. That is why we will say no passive voice possible because there is no receiving object. No passive voice possible because there is no receiving object. Stop. Percent. Right? No passive voice is possible because there is no receiving object. Now look at this sentence. So let's see. I ate rice with a spoon. Full stop. This case, mein, there are two objects, right? There are two objects in the sentence in this case. Look at the two objects. What are the two objects? Yes, you ate what? You ate rice. So rice is an object here. And a spoon is another object here connected with the preposition if, which says which was the agent with. Okay? Not which was the agent, which was the helping agent. You have a spoon. Now here we can change the sentence, active voice sentence into passive voice. Why? There is a receiving object. You ate what? I ate. What did you eat or what did I eat? I ate rice. Wait a minute. Let me just reconnect the video. Okay. And now,
पापा
बाबू
मैं आ सकती हूँ
नहीं बेटा, अभी नहीं बेटा, बाद में आना प्लीज, बाद में आना बेबी, अभी नहीं आना. Guys, give me 1 minute, okay? Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my daughter was insisting that she should play with me, but right now, let's complete the video. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen again. Right. So in this sentence, I ate rice with a spoon. There is a receiving object. What is the receiving object here? The receiving object is rice. What did you eat? You ate rice. I ate rice. Did you eat spoon? No. So spoon cannot be the subject of the passive voice sentence. It has to be rice. So rice, what is the tense of the sentence? Past tense, simple past tense, was eaten. Simple past में क्या लगता है helping verb? Was. What do we use as the helping verb in simple past tense? Was or were. Because rice is singular, it is uncountable. You cannot have plurals for it. Rice is singular, so we will use was, and then we will use the third form of the main verb. What is the third form of the main verb? Eaten. Who ate the rice? You ate the rice. Okay. By me with a spoon. What will happen of the second object, the non-receiving object? It will remain there as it is. Right? Clear? I ate rice with a spoon. So this is the exception that we wanted to talk about. There is another exception, very important exception. There are some tenses whose passive voice is not possible. Chalo, let's see if we can make the passive voice sentence of this sentence. I have been studying grammar. What is the tense of the sentence? The tense of the sentence is present perfect. How did we know that it is perfect? We have the helping verb been, and studying is the ing form, so continuous form. So present perfect, continuous tense. Now let's see if we can make the passive voice of this sentence. According to the rule, what is the tense of what is the receiving object? Grammar. According to the rule, right? What is the tense of what is the receiving object in this sentence? I have been studying grammar. Yes, grammar is the receiving object. What have you been studying? Grammar. So grammar ko chalo le lete hain. Grammar. Okay. Now, what is the helping verb that we use for grammar for present tense? Grammar is third person singular. What is the helping verb that we will use for present tense? Pause the video, answer it. Chalo, dekho. If you don't pause, I'll give you the answer. Has. Right? Okay. What is the helping verb for perfect tense? Being, yes. Okay. What is the helping verb for continuous tense? Being. Right? And what will happen of the main verb? It will again become the V3 form. So what is the main verb? Studying. So it will become studied. Studied by me. Grammar has been being studied by me. ऐसा sentence कहीं देखा है? According to the rule of transformation from active and passive voice sentence, we transform this sentence using the helping verbs for each tense used in the active voice sentence. But we've reached a very complex sentence. Grammar has been being studied by me. Such a sentence is not recommended. Such passive voice transformations are not recommended. So, similarly, we have exceptions of future continuous tense and future continuous tense and past perfect continuous tense. Chalo dekhte hain, let's see. Now, the same sentence, I'll change the sentence into past perfect continuous. Chalo dekhte hain. I had been studying grammar. इसको क्या बनाएंगे हम लोग? What is the tense of the sentence? It is past perfect continuous, right? Now, when we transform this sentence into passive voice sentence, grammar will become the subject. Grammar will become the subject of the sentence. What is the tense we use for past tense? What is the helping verb we use for past tense for grammar? It will be had, right? Had. V3 के लिए, perfect के लिए, what is the tense we use for perfect tense? What is the helping verb we use for perfect tense? Yes, it is been. Okay. What is the helping verb that we use for continuous tense? Yes, it is being. Being. Okay. Now, the main verb is studying. The main verb transforms into which form? V3 form. So, studying का V3 form, studied. Studied. Who studied it? By me. ऐसा transformation हो सकता है क्या? बड़ा गंदा सा transformation आ रहा है नहीं? So, it's too complicated. It is not acceptable. So, note. चलो note बनाते हैं. Note or rule, whatever you want to write. Big में लिखना, note है, rule है. So what is the rule or note? Passive voice of sentences of the following tenses is not recommended. What is the note? The note is passive voice of the following sentence is not recommended. पहला sentence क्या लिखा? We found out that it is present perfect tense. Okay. Second, present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. And future perfect continuous tense, all the perfect continuous tenses, and one more, future perfect continuous tense. And there is one more. Let's see this example. चलो एक और example देख लेते हैं, यहीं पे देखते हैं, ठीक है? यहाँ पे देखेंगे. Let's see this example. You may write, if you have already written it, please write in the space given below, no issues. Achha, let's see. Let's try future continuous tense. Future continuous tense. I will be going to the night. I will be eating rice. When you say I will be going to the market, it does not have a receiving object, right? I will be eating rice. Chalo, let's see if we can make a transformation of this sentence. There is future continuous tense, है ना? Let's see if we can make it the transformation of this sentence. Now, what is the receiving object of the active voice sentence? I will be eating rice. Rice. Rice is the receiving object. We make it the subject of the sentence. Will be. Rice will be. Future. What is the helping verb for future? We use will be as the helping verb for future tense, right? Will be. Okay. What is the future tense of sorry, what is the helping verb for continuous tense? बताइए, helping verb for continuous tense? Being, right? B-E-I-N-G, being. Rice will be being eaten by me. ऐसा sentence भी नहीं possible है. So what is the fourth exception? Fourth exception is that the fourth exception is future continuous tense. So as a conclusion, we may say that passive voice is not possible if the active voice sentence, sorry, passive voice is not possible कब by, if पहला note, if the active voice sentence is, if the active voice sentence is, sorry, does not, if the active voice sentence does not have a receiving object, R-E-C-E-I-V-I-N-G, receiving object. सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्ट होना जरूरी नहीं है. It's not only mandatory to have an object. It has to be a receiving object. ऐसा नहीं कि I go with a rickshaw. Then you cannot make with the rickshaw the subject of the passive voice sentence. It has to be a receiving object. Like I go. No, you cannot make a receiving object of that. Say I painted this bowl. I painted this vessel. So you will say this vessel was painted by me. But you cannot make I painted with a brush. When you say I painted with a brush, you cannot make a brush the subject of the passive voice sentence. Can you say a brush was painted by me? No, you can't paint the brush. You have to paint the vessel or the painting, right? Now, second thing is that if the active voice, first is if the active voice sentence does not have a receiving object. Now, if the active voice sentence is of the following tenses. क्या tenses था? You already saw that. What are those? Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous, and future continuous. Now all this thing will be helpful to you if you revise, make notes, and practice. Guys, with this, we come to the end of this lecture. Tomorrow, we will meet again, right? So, I hope you get benefited by this. And if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. With that, take care. Bye-bye.